Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Where is My Masculinity? Today I have Simon with me. Unjan Simon?
Ndi-right njani wena?
I can't.
Okay. I don't know how this works, but
No,
okay.
we'll share the mic. Production budgets are a little bit low, so that's what's going on. Um, so what I wanted to have a chat with you on, around the topic of masculinity, amongst other things, is the role that religion plays in creating the kind of constructs of what masculinity should be. And I would like you to sort of share your perspective based on your journey within the religious context and how that's sort of like, evolved and changed your viewpoints.
Wow. I did not expect this type of a question. Wow, where to start? So, fine. I grew up in a Christian home, a spiritual, both from the ancestral perspective as well as the Western religion type. And am I allowed to say that I'm gay?
Yeah, yes, of course. Of course.
Okay. So I'm gay. So it was a thing of your ancestors don't know anything about you being gay. There's never been a gay man in this house or in this family. The Bible or Christianity also says you cannot be gay because God hates gay people. So I grew up around that. And within that context, I needed to find my truth. I needed to find who Simon is. I needed to find what makes Simon tick. So religion played, or Christianity, spirituality played a very important role in the person that I am now. In that I'm a gay man, right? I'm a gay man. And people must just understand being a gay man doesn't necessarily mean that you're a woman. You're just attracted to other guys or to men. So reading the Bible, going to church, and hearing my pastor saying that, no, being gay, Bible, my friends would say, no, but God loves you regardless. But I was still in that, what about my family? What about my ancestors? What about God? Because I love this man so much, or this energy so much, that I want this energy to accept myself. So I have a tendency to go on and on. So
No.
okay. So in that context, I had to find what or who Simon is, right? And it was a journey. It was a very long journey. There were points where I was very suicidal. In my head, not like live, but in my head, I wanted to die because God didn't love me. And. So I later got to discover that my uniqueness, my sense of self, is what makes me, right? And if God hates me, it's okay. I love him. He must just now deal with it from that angle. He's a supreme being. So if I say I love you as a supreme being, you hate me, then destroy me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been here from that angle. I wouldn't be alive if he's omnipotent, right? So if he is that powerful, why am I alive, right? So from a perspective of being a gay man in a religious family, it took them a while to accept that I am this way. To date, my mom doesn't talk to me about it at all. For her, she knows we never touch it. She knows she'll never ask me, when am I getting married, when am I getting a child, and she gets it. But it's a thing of the foundation that was laid in the family in terms of spirituality, in terms of Christianity, Christianity, it's still there. But I had to now go and find out what makes Simon Simon within those borders, or within that range of spirituality and Christianity. I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yeah, that's a perfect answer. Truthful one, which is ultimately what we're here for. Within that journey, then, when you then look into the mirror and you look at society in general, when you think then of masculinity, right, what does that identity mean and represent for you from a character's perspective, from a attributes or whatever it is that you ascribe to masculinity?
So, for me, masculinity has to do with strength, right? And a lot of the time growing up, masculinity was about, Gindot, I'm a man. A man has to be strong. A man has to provide. A man has to protect. A man has to just be literally the be all and end all of everything. If there's danger, you must sort it out. It was always about strength. And I got to realize that growing up, everybody in the family wanted me to be like all the men in the family, have strength, be that guy who's, and I did, like do the garden, learn how to fix things, learn how to be a man, which is something that you're taught to be a man, right? Well, in our family or in our culture, you're taught to become a man because you get to mimic what the elders have been doing. So for me, fortunately enough, I don't want to say unfortunately, fortunately enough for me, it was a thing of, I had a balance of both, femininity and masculinity. So I didn't necessarily conform to the masculine aspect of it. I also conformed to the feminine aspect of it because I was raised by a single parent, my mom. So technically I was her girl, for lack of a better word. And that also it created a stain, for lack of a better word again, a stain where I can't be feminine. I can't be this close to my mom because it's going to make you weak. And remember I said masculinity is strength. So it's going to make you weak. And at that point in time, it was very confusing because it's like, but I'm not weak. I just love doing these things. And there's nothing wrong with doing these things. But these are girls' things. You can't be playing with dolls. You can't be cleaning the house, taking the pots and shining them and that's a girl's thing. And that was very confusing for me because I've got an uncle who is very like that. But oddly enough, it became a thing where growing up, it became a thing where he's like that. It was a thing. It was like, he's like that. So eventually they stopped expecting me to be, I could be a man and. I was a guy, but for them it was like, he's got a lot of feminine tendencies. So that's him. Unjalo, he will outgrow it. But Kanye, I didn't. See, I hope I answered that as well.
And given the reality of where we are today, both from, because you touched a little bit on the cultural aspect, because yes, there are expectations from a cultural standpoint of what's expected of a man and how he should behave. Looking at the, for lack of a better word, the template of religion and culture as it stands today, do you think that the conversation is opening up for people to critically reevaluate if those templates are still true and change them accordingly? Or do you think young men and women growing up today are still subject to that way of thinking?
So they are still subject to that way of thinking because it's from the root. I made a note of it a while ago to say men and women don't know how to be themselves within themselves and understand. They don't know their truth, basically, because it's something that this is it. This is what needs to happen. This is how it is. Don't change it. Because if you change it, you're going to, destroy the norm. You're going to destroy the template because this is the template. Add what you want. But at the end of the day, don't change the template. So now most of our people, especially the young men in South Africa, tend to live not through the father's eyes, not necessarily that way, but they tend to bring what they've learned into perspective. They've learned it, they've seen it, and they've heard it around. So they built on top of a template. And it becomes very, not dangerous, but it becomes very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's difficult for them to actually understand what it is to be a man because Ubaba was like this. Umkhulu was like that. Ubaba Galins is like this. So this is how it is. I can add whatever I want, but I don't change it. I hope I answered that.
Yeah. And how do you think that then maybe creates some of the issues that we see today with men around gender-based violence and all this kind of stuff that's sparked conversations on shows such as this? Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, I think most men, it goes back to what I said earlier on, they don't know their truth. The Lins doesn't understand what makes Lins tick, at least 80%, You know, you understand what makes you tick from a professional perspective, which is like what, 20%, and personal, when you're alone with yourself, it's like 30, and when you're in a relationship, it's like another 30. But when you look at all of that holistically, you actually, most men are at 10% because they don't know how to be themselves without drawing from their experiences, or what they, not even experiences, what they were taught on how to be a man. They don't know how to just sit with themselves and say, okay, I don't like this. How am I now going to express that I don't like it without offending my person, without offending someone else, without coming across as weak or as being gay? It's sad because most guys, even today, even the up and coming, for them it's okay to be that guy and be a bully because that is what is projected throughout. And these types of platforms, your channel specifically, are ideal platforms that are going to allow them to learn to say it's okay to be vulnerable. It doesn't make you weak. It's okay for you to cry. It's okay for you to not know what's going on with you, but take time to find out what makes you you, instead of inhaling a lot of negativity, a lot of pictures from outside, and trying to build this person that you yourself know that I'm not this person, but because of society, because of everything that's happening around us, I need to now come across as one of the guys. I'm a man. I'm gonna do this. Do you understand? If you don't want to do it, it's okay not to do it. That is your truth. And that's why a lot of people now, a lot of men now, are struggling. Right now, it's a struggle. The conversation is happening, but they also don't know how to react. Most men don't know how to react to that. So I don't know. It's one of those things.
Tell me, you've touched on a few things. This journey of discovering who self is, right, which is part of the starting point of any kind of authenticity when it comes to masculinity. In your journey, what got you to that point, to really, for lack of a better word, dig in and do that self-work and figure it out? That's one. Two, do you believe in doing that self-work, that amongst men, we are equipped to be able to support each other as we do that self-journey as well?
I like that question. So, for me, it was more spirituality than anything else, both ancestral, both really Christianity. So it took a while, because at some point I wanted to be straight because it was a thing. It was an embarrassment to the family. But my understanding of God, my understanding of what the love of God is and the love of my ancestors is, I got to realize there's nothing wrong with me. I'm different, yes, but there's nothing wrong with me. I am still Simon. I am still my mother's son. I am still my brother's brother. I am still Simon. I'm still Lynn's friend. I'm still the same. And that was my foundation to say, fine, God loves me, my ancestors love me. Then out of this love, what can come out that's going to make me feel like I belong, make me feel like I am worthy of being in this world? And that's where my journey started. So the foundation was that, what is love? And I got to realize that I love myself a lot. And you've seen this. I love myself a lot. I enjoy being me. And that is the authentic self or the authentic journey that I had to go through to be able to say, okay, Simon is this type of a person. Simon likes this, Simon doesn't like that. And once you're aware of all of that, it now becomes a thing of, I know who I am, I know my truth. Now let me just go outside and tell the world that this is who I am. I don't have to show off, but you see it when you interact with me. You see it when you're talking to me that, no, Simon understands who he is. He gets what it is that he wants, he gets what he doesn't want, and he will communicate it accordingly, right? That's the first question. What was the second one again?
The support structure
for men.
Yeah, amongst men as we do the
journey.
Yes.
So the one thing that I've realized is we've got this